Hey guys, what's happening? So we are back for more Philip K. Johnson's Hulk series, and this one's bringing back a character that's nothing less than a legend as far as the history of werewolves in Marvel Comics. But if you're just hopping in here, I got a playlist in the description that'll get you caught up with the previous 19 issues leading up to this. And if you're enjoying these videos, do be sure to drop a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and don't forget to hit that bell up top to get all notifications. Alright, so coming back, we return to Vegas not long after the Hulk nearly leveled this place during his fight with the Eldest. But now with the Eldest injured and both Hulk and Charlie in the wind, we come back to find a group of skinwalkers who are up to no good. Cause now one of these guys by the name of Nico, he's led a group of others down to the deepest part of the cave that prior to this was forbidden for any of them to go to. But now with Lycana gone and the Eldest out of the way for the time being, Nico's come here with the others to summon someone who's insanely powerful to bring back the Lycana Godskin and set things right. Because if you guys remember, the group of people that we were introduced to in the caves under Vegas back in issue 17, where practically everyone here was skinwalkers, well, unlike the two girls, Katie and Becky, who were tricked into coming here, Nico, along with the others who were with them, willingly sought out Lycana with the desire of being worshipped, strong, and beautiful, only to have that recently taken away from them. And out of this group that's led by Nico, he also believes that he's earned the right, more than any of the others, to wear the Godskin next. But he doesn't disclose that information to them here. He's just like, oh, it was taken from all of us, we gotta get it back. And so when they come down here to this forbidden area, one of these guys is more or less like, well, what do we do next? Do we talk to this god? Only to have Nico kick him down the pit because someone needed to be the sacrifice this whole time. And it's like, man, if you're going with somebody to awaken some ancient evil, you got to have your head on a swivel. Or better yet, don't go. But it's here where we find out that they've come to bring forth Varcolac, ancient father of the Wolf Lords. And this is a big deal because Varcolac, who's also known as the Wolf Demon, he comes from a time when Chthon saw early man as nothing more than lab rats, where within these experiments, Varcolac was a byproduct of Chthon twisting together the tissues and essence of man, beast, and demon for the purpose of serving him in a similar manner to how the Serpent Men were created by Set to serve him as well. And down the line, Varcolac's daughter, Angrboda, will go on to be the mother of Fenrir's wolf and the Midgard serpent. And Varcolac is also the creator of the Wolfmen, which later led to a group known as the Gene Lords, who referred to themselves as the caretakers to experiment with his magic and combine that with their studies of genetic engineering. And in Doctor Strange Sorcerer Supreme issue 26, it was explained how these caretakers had went on to combine the spirit and DNA of the wolf wind racer with a human to create what would be known today as werewolves. So yeah, to say the least, this guy's connections run deep. But again, with Nico and the others offering their sacrifice, they ask in return that he retrieves the Godskin of Lycana and bring vengeance upon their trespassers. And speaking of trespassers, it's here where we catch up with Hulk and Charlie, where before we saw the two of them separated after the chaos, but now with them back together, we quickly find Charlie enjoying her new abilities in spite of the fact of being a murderous avatar of an ancient evil power, cause it's like now she's completely overlooking the crazy details behind what she's become and how she got this strength. Because from the introduction of her character, she's always wanted to be strong like the Hulk. And I mean, it's not like she's that strong now, or ever will be for that matter, but she's undoubtedly able to display superhuman strength. So it makes for a bit of a bonding moment between her and Hulk, but even still there's this really dark undertone that's happening here at the same time. And it leads to the Hulk being led away by a silhouette off in the distance that looks like Bruce that asked him, "You think it'll always be this way? She's a monster now, like us. You know where this leads. She'll learn the cost of that strength. Maybe in a year, maybe tomorrow, but she'll learn. And when she does, it'll be your fault." And it takes a while for Charlie to even notice that the Hulk's left. And even when she does notice, she's more or less like, whatever. So she leaps up into a tree, because again, she's just focusing on enjoying this new strength or this new power. But when she does this, she throws up her hands like, woohoo, king of the hill, as she's suddenly shown this vision of Lycana feeding. And Charlie hears a voice say, "Blood. I spared your life. The price was blood. Drink." And this leads to the branch breaking and Charlie falling from the tree, but it's basically one of the first signs of the moment that we knew was coming, with Lycana telling Charlie, there's a price you need to pay for this power, and that price is feeding. And when she gets up, she's greeted with the words, "You poor dumb kid," as she's met by the arrival of Jack Russell, the werewolf by night. And as it stands, there's still quite a bit that we have yet to learn when it comes down to the specifics of Charlie returning from the dead, as well as what it truly means for Charlie to be wearing the skin of Lycana. But Jack already knows a good portion of this just from picking up Charlie's scent and finding her here, because he tells her, "Do you know how easy you are to track? Your scent is like a streak of neon green in a black and white world." And so of course she asks, "Who the hell are you?" So he tells her, "My name's Jack. I came to warn you. Lycana's pack is bound to Las Vegas. You've broken your pact. Get back to your turf or it'll go badly for you." So right away Charlie's like, "I'm not one of them. I don't answer to them, or you, or anybody." So Jack's just like, "Not one of them, huh? I know a skinwalker when I smell one." "And I know the signs when a monster needs to feed. Want to know how I know? Go ahead, girl. Ask me." And when Charlie sees him turn, she's more or less like, "Oh, okay, I'd do you one better." And she turns as well. And as soon as Jack sees her take on this form, he's like, "You're not just a skinwalker. You're the skinwalker. You're wearing Lycana's skin itself. Do you even know what that means?" And so for Charlie, because she's more so focused on the tone of what she's hearing, as opposed to what's being said or how she's even hearing it, to her, these are all just words leading up to a fight, when really she should be taking this opportunity to ask Jack some questions. And so of course these two go at it, but when they do, Jack goes on to explain by mentioning Lycana's vessels get one cycle of the moon. They hunt, they feed, they're worshipped, and then they're sacrificed to the pack. So Jack tells her the others will be coming for you, only for Charlie to respond like, "Do I look scared?" And again, for Charlie, it just really comes off like she's in this space where she's just power drunk. Like it doesn't matter how she got this power or what it truly means. She's just excited to finally have it, and I doubt that she's gonna want to let it go anytime soon. And following this, when we head back over to the Hulk, who more or less had wandered off earlier, he ends up running into Nico, who tells him, "You don't expect to see anyone in a place like this, let alone whatever you are." Then he's like, "Hey, aren't you one of those Revengers or X-people or whatever? What are you doing here?" And the Hulk just tells him, leaving, only for him to have Nico appear once again in front of him. And aside from this guy going on with all sorts of small talk, he goes on to tell the Hulk who he is and that Lycana's skin should have been his, because this guy did a lot of twisted things to get that opportunity, so he doesn't appreciate it being taken. But at this point, the Hulk, he's had enough, because he done told this guy to move plenty times. And Nico goes on to say here that it doesn't matter anymore, because he's found himself a new master. And it's almost like for a moment here, Nico believes that he's about to have this huge fight with the Hulk and tell him about how he's come up and how things have changed. But the Hulk just catches this dude and stomps him into the ground. And it's over. And it's funny because the Hulk's just like, "Nobody want to hear your little story. Like, dude should have just left us alone." But as the Hulk gets ready to leave and go and find Charlie, the ground around Nico starts to open up with flames coming out that consume him, as the voice of Varcolac goes on to say, "I care nothing for Lycana and her mewling litter. Only blood. Blood enough to fill the seas. Blood enough to drown the gods." And as he's saying this, the ground is cracking open and all this hellfire is just coming out, just before you see his hand and his eyes as he crawls out. And it has me thinking that it's possible that this could be leading to some further connections to Werewolf by Night Volume 2, where at the time Jack Russell was dealing with the wolf demon throughout most of this series, who for the most part back then was referred to as this nameless creature who had the power to control the wolf aspect in humanity. And I mean, depending on who you talk to, some people will say that this was Varcolac, some people say that it's not, since the wolf demon fed on fear instead of flesh. But I gotta lean towards the people who say that it is, because that's what it says in the Marvel Handbook, that specifically talks about angels, demons, and various monstrosities. But back at the time of the story, with much of what Jack was able to find, or even be told at one point, a lot of which was just speculation that had been pieced together. And I really believe that, much like we talked about with Varney during Blood Hunt, Varcolac could really use a story that would just bring everything together and even sort out what was true from what wasn't, because in Werewolf by Night Volume 2, the wolf demon even had their own version of hell. So yeah, I'm just hoping with how this is going that it leads to a more clear-cut and concise explanation. Because when a character's been around for so many years and then you have retcons connecting their history to different moments, it's nice when you get a new story that says, hey, here's what we're sticking to. So hopefully we see that in some way down the line. But either way, with Varcolac climbing out of the ground and just towering over the Hulk, he goes on to tell him, I am Varcolac, father of the Wolf Lords, and your blood is mine. And I gotta tell you, I love how this Hulk story is not only introducing new monsters, but it's also bringing back the old obscure ones, and it's the old ones coming back that has me like, man, I need to go back, take another look at some of these issues. Cause to me, in the larger picture, it just connects everything to the main Marvel universe in a better way, much like what we've seen recently in Immortal Thor. So yeah, needless to say, I can't wait to see where this goes. And so now real quick, I want to give a special shout out to all the patrons. Thank you guys for all of your support. And for anyone who's new here, who wants more information on how to support the channel, I got a link below where you can go to patreon.com/dopespill. But that'll do it for this one, guys. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and we'll do it again on the next one. Alright, later.